Last June, K-pop Demon Hunters hit the internet and damn, it turned into one giant neon shout. I kept seeing the same clips, the same chorus hooks, the same wild costume shots, just over and over again. A year later, I went back for the part hype usually hides. Does the whole movie still hold up when nobody's screaming about it anymore? Rude answer. It's strongest when it's blasting like a concert with claws. And it starts wobbling when it has to just sit still and talk. If you only remember the big numbers, you already remember the part that carries the movie. That's the trick here. The hype was real. So is the fucking machine underneath it. The smartest thing this movie does is treat the songs like gears. They push the plot forward. They're actually the engine. When the title song hits, it feels like somebody just flipped the main power switch. And actually, it's crazy, because the room changes first. Then the stakes follow. Even the air feels louder. The color design helps a ton. Magenta for demon energy, cyan for surveillance, gold for victory. Which, honestly, reminds me of how old arcade games used to color code the bosses. I'll get back to that later, but it looks like somebody handed the animators 3 giant highlighters and said, "Build me a myth." Then there's the timing. The characters hit their poses in sharp 2 counts, while the camera keeps sliding on a full beat. Like dancers freezing for a photo while the hallway keeps moving around them. That gives the action a snap that plain old CGI rarely gets. Graphic loud and wired to a pop hook. Every punch feels like it got choreographed by a comic book and a dance rehearsal. And that's why the big scenes work so well. The story finally remembers what kind of body it has. But the second the music leaves, you can feel the frame shift under your fucking feet. The dialogue scenes lean hard on safe, centered coverage. The camera just parks itself. Energy drains out of the room. It feels like walking from a packed arena into a beige office break room. And that matters because the movie keeps asking you to care about shame, family pressure, and identity. Those feelings need air when the songs stop. Every Mira and Zoe get the short end of that deal. They have jobs in the story, sure. One is guarded, the other is blunt. But they don't get much private life. So, well, actually, it's worse than that. They just feel like pieces on a board. Celine's absence hits in a similar way. She drops out for a stretch and comes back near the end, leaving this massive gap the movie never really fills. You can absolutely feel the missing chair at the table. The world rules do the same dance. The Hanmoon barrier behaves like a dashboard light. It flashes when the scene needs pressure, and it softens when the scene needs relief. That's the kind of bullshit that only works if the chorus is still ringing in your damn ears. Genu helps a lot as a mirror for Rumi, but even that arc moves fast enough to leave a few scenes showing. The movie wants the emotional turn, and the emotional turn arrives. Getting there feels, well, it feels thinner than the rest of the movie. Even with those cracks, the movie keeps earning people back because Rumi's arc lands. Her shame has a physical shape. You can see it on her body, in her posture, in the way she keeps trying to hide part of herself. That makes the payoff feel clean. When she finally stops hiding, the release hits like dropping a backpack full of rocks after carrying it all day. The movie also gets a lot of mileage out of how specific it feels. Korean mythology, idol culture, and fantasy combat all crash into each other. And the mix gives the film a face. I mean, wait, look at how the costume design ties into the lore for a second. Actually, never mind. That's a whole separate video. But the mix gives the film a unique face. That's why the soundtrack keeps living rent-free in your head. You remember the beat drop, the lighting, the pose, the exact second gold floods the screen. It knows exactly when to lock the shot and let the beat land. That's why those poster moments stay with you. So, was it as good as you remembered? Mostly, yeah. The hype wasn't fake. The songs do real work. So does the staging. It has snap. Rumi's arc lands harder than a lot of bigger movies ever manage. But memory sands down the rough edges. Quiet scenes still sag. The rules wobble. The movie keeps leaning on its loudest tools to carry its softest parts. That's the real shape of K-pop Demon Hunters. It's a neon encore with a few loose boards under the stage. You leave humming the chorus, and then, a minute later, you notice the floor under your feet. That gap between those two feelings is the whole review. If you've gone back to it, tell me what still hits and what fell apart. I want the real answer. Give me the messy version.